What French
favorite.
person doesn't like champagne?
And you know what we do in France? When you have the phone, you do like this. You put it behind your ears.
Okay, let me.
But
You're
I-
so French. I
I'm
love
so French.
that.
Yes, I love l'amour. Oh la la. And I was so bad at it. Of relationship. I think it's really, the laboratory for your soul.
A particular nationality that are better lovers. We have to practice our French technique. This one is going to garbage. This goes out too.
Allez, bye bye. I never tried crêpe with champagne.
My grandma always had a special pan. I actually have a real crêpe pan. She made the perfect French crêpe. I love everything French. I love French people. I love French language. J'adore. Cheers to love. Today's guest has traveled all around the world, but discovered the most important journey starts with yourself. Anne-Sophie Baret is a wellness and relationship coach with a global background in luxury hospitality, who now helps people build deeper and more meaningful connections. Please welcome the kind, courageous, and special Anne-Sophie.
Hi,
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And
welcome.
since my beautiful guest is French, we'll be making a classic Parisian crepes, both sweet and also savory, while she shares the recipe for creating authentic relationships that truly nourish. Thank you for that, and I want to welcome you with champagne.
Oh my God, my
What French
favorite.
person doesn't like champagne?
Oh my God, I haven't met that person yet.
Good.
It's really part of our tradition, and I love that we are doing that at the same time as we are doing the crêpe. Because, for instance, in our family, when we are doing the crêpe, it comes with either cider or if you want to elevate it, you can do it with a nice little cup of champagne.
So we want to definitely elevate it. You are here today. We must elevate everything because that's what you do in life. You elevate people.
Exactly. I mean, this is what I love. I started my career in the corporate environment, working for hotels. But what I really enjoy the most is managing people, because I feel like I'm here to help them, to elevate them, to make them grow. So for that, I love to be in the back and see them flourishing,
That's so wonderful.
I feel like
so special.
The strengths I want to make them flourish.
You want to build people up. That is such a great thing to do in life, and we want to talk about it after I pop this bottle.
Oh la 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 la. Ooh, yepa.
We got it. Woohoo.
Beautiful. And you know what we do in France? When you have the phone, you do like this. You put it behind your ears.
Okay, let me do that.
My grandma was always doing that. Here we go.
What does that mean? What is it some sort of tradition, or it's just your grandma, or it's a French thing?
No, I think it's a French thing, but my grandma, every time she was doing that.
I like to have a little bit of a champagne perfume on me. Why not?
Exactly.
Cheers to you.
Cheers
and your
to
grandma.
Yeah, my grandma.
I love that. This is from now on, I'm gonna start doing that.
Very chic.
Beautiful. So before we start making all this our batter, I just want to ask you tell me about your journey from hospitality marketing and now to relationship coach. And what is a relationship coach? Does that thing really exist? It sounds so interesting, but it makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Well, I mean, to talk a little bit about my past, so I had the chance to travel a little bit the world and to live in Asia, to live in Africa, in the beautiful city of Morocco.
45 continents.
45,
she traveled.
Yeah, 45 countries.
Countries, I'm sorry.
And I lived in 4 countries, so I started with living in Spain. So, and now I'm sharing my life with a beautiful Spanish husband. I lived in Asia, in Cambodia, which was an incredible experience. And I started my journey in hospitality there. So I studied communication and marketing. And I started managing people and managing teams. So this is where my passion for people really sparks. And along the way, I had my personal journey with love. And I was...
we all do.
Oh la la. And I was so bad at it. I had so many heartbreaks, I can tell you. Oh yeah. I had like a good relationship when I was in my 20s starting. And then after, I was accumulating the bad relationship. And I was like, until I arrived here in Miami, and I had like a moment of awakening.
you realize that relationship starts with yourself first.
Exactly.
Was that the key to actually find that, and then you start building a relationship with another person? Because if you don't have that within, nothing will work.
Exactly, because you know, before I was like, oh, I'm not with the right person, or there is something wrong with them. You
Never
know?
with myself, right? That's how people usually are. Yeah.
And this is the easiest way. It's like, it starts with, you know, with them, oh my God, they have a problem. Until I thought I find the right one. And again, bam, it doesn't work. So for that moment, which was a deep moment of sadness actually, then after I understand I had to work on myself, and I've done a long journey of understanding myself, who I am, and understanding that I was working more through my ego than really nurturing my self-love to be, you know, the woman that I was supposed to become. So I had this whole journey, and then after I find actually the man of my life, who is, you know, learning about myself, learning about self-love, learning actually about the law of attraction.
Yes.
Which was very powerful. You know, I was during COVID, and I wrote down on my little journal, like, what would be my ideal person, you know? But really not on the shallow side, but really deep down, the value. And I did my list, you know, like my shopping list. And I think like 4 or 5 months later, I met him. And, you know, I went back to my journal a few months after I met him, and I started describing him. It was like, oh, that's me, that's me, that's me. And I was like, it was so incredible to see how the power when you are aligned with yourself and you know what you want. Not, you have to be flexible, of course, but that leads you into the right direction. And I met him, and now we've been 5 years together.
Congratulations, and I'm so happy for you. It is, I think the world right now is could be very lonely, and lots of wonderful, special people actually are single and not in relationships, and they struggle. But as you said, and I agree with you on that, because I've been there as well, and I know that when you start searching deeper within yourself and find the answers about yourself and actually admit to those flaws and issues and start working on them, things start happening for yourself. Yes. And I also made that list of my wishes, how I would like my man to be, what are the qualities. Yes. And I'm actually very proud of it, because all of those things are very deep, and every single one matches it.
You see? So
every single one. And I just went, when I went back to it, I was blown away. It was even above and beyond.
Exactly.
Very, very, very.
Even more than you expected.
Yeah, exactly.
So you see, but it's a whole process, and this is what today I'm trying to share. It's like I think I cracked the code, and I want to share it with.
So because and now you have your new business that is called Sagesse, correct? And
yes.
that is where you could hire Anne-Sophie for coaching you in relationships and in life, where she could decode your issues and help you to reach that moment for yourself and finally open the world and receive.
Exactly.
So how they can find you? That you have a website?
Yes, so there is my website, which is AnneSophieBaret.com, so you must see my name.
Yes, and you will see in the comments, we'll post the link to all of that. Absolutely, and you know, there is also and information, the Instagram and everything, that you could contact her. And if you lose any of that, you could, you know, contact me. I'll share all of that information with you.
Of course, and each journey is different. And of course, it's about understanding yourself. It's not a cookie cutter program. You know, it's really according to everyone's need and really help you to be your best self. So for you to embrace, you know, who you are first, so you can also elevate your vibration, because the more we live our life to the fullest, being who we are and being authentic, not playing the role of another person.
Yeah, that's the problem a lot of times, that I notice people start living somebody else's life instead of, but the difference is you are wasting as much energy living somebody else's desires, dreams, and life, but the outcome is so different. because authentic and the opposite of that is not the same. So actually try to spend the energy of discovering who you are and don't worry about the rest of the world and what other people do. Find you and start living it, and the life will bring everything to you, because that's how it really works.
Exactly. And then after you attract,
you keep. And we will start making our crepes. Don't forget to scan that QR code for the recipe. And we're gonna do two versions, the savory and the sweet, as I said before. So let's begin with our batter. I have the flour, the eggs, the milk, all of the things here. And we will start making the batter quickly. So I'm used to making bellinis. What is the difference, you'll say, between bellinis and the crepes? I think it's very similar.
yes, but I think for the crepe, it's really thinner.
Okay.
You know, so that's why it's lighter.
It's very, very light.
You know,
it's very
so it's
thin.
perfect for a little breakfast, or you know, or for an afternoon tea, or even for a full. In France, we do like once per year. There is a tradition.
How often do you do this?
Well, I mean, for me, I think we'll do like once every 2 months.
Okay.
You know, I have a beautiful stepdaughter, and she loves the crepes.
Of course.
So
All the kids love crepes.
exactly,
It's
with a little bit of, you know, like
Toppings,
chocolate
different-
and toppings. But yeah, definitely. Sometimes, and of course, for me, it's an easy recipe, you know, and very, you know, flavorful.
Yes.
So
we have the eggs here. We'll begin with the eggs. Some sugar, correct?
Yes.
I measured everything, but you guys can have. I have coconut sugar. I think it's very caramelly. So it says 100 grams. Do you put all 100 grams? Or you
I
make
mean, I think you can put half today.
half, right? I feel like
Yes.
it's. I always go for less, because then you have all the other sweets on top of it. So I don't like it when it's too sweet. Some salt, pinch of salt here, and we could mix that.
Yeah.
And then we have to melt some butter and throw it in here as well. Let me turn on the stove and we will melt some butter. Okay, we have like 2 tablespoons of it. Yes. Yeah, that will be quick.
Perfect.
That's perfect?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. And then Grand Marnier.
Grand
It's
Marnier.
a very French, very, you know, that interesting hint of that orangey liqueur, right? I would say if you want to substitute with something, I would go for cognac. I think cognac,
Yes.
well, when I was growing up, my mom would always put cognac into desserts, into all kinds of creams when she makes like a frosting for something. So cognac would give that beautiful, beautiful, delicious hint. So we're gonna add just a little bit of Grand Marnier. That's good?
Yeah.
Grand Marnier, and then our butter.
It's actually very typical when you go to Paris, for instance, and you go to the crepe, you know, little booth.
Stand, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, you know, they're gonna line up all the bottle of Grand Marnier, because this is what makes the crepe so unique in France. This flavor, a little bit orangey, as you said. So
It's so delicious, yeah. I don't usually like drinking any liqueurs, but I love adding them into foods. I think that the food makes it so much better. So we're gonna put our melted butter here as well. And then the way I like to make sure there are no clumps in the batter, I put the flour first and then add milk, because when it's less liquid, it's easier to control the clumps. So make sure you don't put the milk and then it's going to be very, very hard. So we're going to start putting our flour, and it's going to be thick, but that's how you control those little clumps. Did I miss anything here?
no, that's perfect.
Okay.
You're doing great, and continue drinking a little bit of
She's
champagne.
coaching me in making French crepes, okay? Why not?
You're doing great, Edvina.
Thank you, thank you. So tell us a little bit about Sagesse while I'm mixing this batter.
No, so Sagesse.
How did you start it, and what inspired you?
I mean, as I said, you know, when I was going through that moment of learning about, my own journey and relationship, at the same time, I realized how passionate I was about relationship. I always been a romantic.
Oh yeah, me
I
too,
always
hopeless.
love,
You're so French. I love that.
Yes, I love l'amour. But and yeah, I just realized that I was, just passionate by people, by relationship in general. I think, and when you work in company, it's a great place also to learn about the different personalities and the different type of person. So all the psychological aspect of it for me was always very interesting. And then after, in terms of relationship, I think it's really, the laboratory for your soul.
Absolutely.
Because this is where you're really coming together with another soul, with another human, and you need to learn how to live with that person, which has a completely different background. You're coming with your background, with your values. So it's not like, okay, you find a love and that's it. Now the journey starts. So there is two things. There is like first the part where you start the relationship, you want to find the relationship, which I feel, and for what I've experienced, is start with yourself. And so when you have that and eventually the right person is coming into your life, then you enter the second step, which is how to find the right balance. So for me, it's really coming to, the passion, and I train myself. So first about wellness. So I've met a great coach in Canada who trained me to his method, and also to be able to give group workshop, which I love to do, where, we come all together as a community. And I feel, more than ever, Edvina, people need that reconnection.
Absolutely.
There is, for me, the next pandemic is the loneliness. So we need those moments to reconnect with each other, and I love also to animate like group of women, because I think this is where, we're coming back together. We can share.
Powerful female energy connects and builds. And I feel like the world has become so aggressive, full of aggression, because lots of lonely people.
Yeah.
And there is, you need that love, because love is the only thing that can save us.
Exactly.
And I agree with you. That's so great that you are doing that for the world, for people, and you have to take advantage of someone who actually knows what it's doing about it. It's really, really special. I want to show you quickly the batter. As you see, I'm still going to add the milk, but I want to show you that this is, there are no clumps. It's just because, as I said before, you start adding milk slowly. And also there is sparkling water or beer in the recipe, which, why do we add that? Because the bubbles make the batter very fluffy. So, but since we have champagne, we'll just do champagne. It's always, everything is better with champagne.
Oh la la, I've never done that.
Look at that beautiful bubbles. I already see why this will be much, much better. So we're gonna still add a little more milk until we have the right texture, right? You tell me when you think it's perfect.
I think
Is that good?
yeah.
Let's see.
It's not too liquidy.
No, it's not too liquidy,
Voilà.
but you also don't want it to be too like saucy, because then it's going to be too thick. So that's why we need to get to the right texture. But you do have all the amounts there in the recipe that you could scan on the QR code. All right, and that's ready. We could leave it for a few minutes, because when it sits a little, it's just gonna be a better, smoother texture. I think we'll leave it for just a few minutes.
Perfect.
Before we continue. I'm gonna just drop this to the sink.
Right.
That's what happens when it's live.
But it's gonna be perfect, I never tried crepe with champagne, so
For everything is the first time, especially you are so French, so I'm sure everything tastes great for you with champagne. I love cooking with champagne. I make sous vide pears with champagne reduction. Yeah, they're so good. I'll make sometimes for you with French duck legs.
Ooh la la! Oh my God, I love that. Sounds delicious.
What would you say are the main obstacles to fulfilling the relationships?
That's a great question. That could be several obstacles. But I think for me, the main one, and actually in every relationship, it's when you have a person not being able to question themselves.
Yes.
You
How
know?
do they achieve that? How can they get to the point of actually discovering those answers?
I mean, because I know some people can be very, it's hard to question yourself when there is a lot of fragility inside of you. So when there is a lot of fragility, what is the reaction? People want to build a very strong armure, very strong
Defense.
wall, defense, exactly. So they are not, able to say, no, I cannot change myself, because they feel everything's gonna crumble inside. So that's why for me, in every relationship, what is really important is to be able to question yourself, to at least a little bit, and starting with that. You have to do it
Gently.
Gentle step. And that's why at the same time, that's why I truly believe the work on self-love and how to develop a healthy relationship with yourself, will be the foundation of, feeling good, solid about myself, but being able to be flexible. Okay, I am with that person, they give me a feedback. It's a mirror, we are all mirror of each other. So we need to listen, to be open. Sometimes not always, but sometimes yes, it's valuable for you to grow. And so when you're able to accept it and to be, you feel good about yourself, okay, you have to be open for growth, open for change. But for that, it starts again with the work of the inside. So I think just a little tips, there is a beautiful video on YouTube. Personally, I love Louise Hay or Joe Dispenza, and they do like daily affirmation. It's a little tips, but that can help you build, that healthy confidence about yourself,
Absolutely, yes.
and feel good. And we're all unique and different, and that's completely fine.
Instead of scrolling on Instagram and TikTok and looking at really stressful videos, you should go and listen to something really positive and powerful before you go to bed. It's a known thing. If you read or listen to something very, very positive, you set yourself for that tune for the next day. And if you create that pattern every day, your body will start responding very, very strongly to the positive, because humans are very prone to think negatively first, and to be stressed out about everything. And to control that, you just change your mindset. You start thinking positive instead. It is a lot of times harder because we have that, alter ego there going crazy, but you just close it and open the new chapter for yourself. It's a really great way to begin, I think, too. And are your clients mainly women, or you also coach maybe children and men?
No, for now it's mostly women. But you know what I realize? I realize there is a big need for men's too, and for men's mental health. Recently I was in Bali, and I met with Mel Robbins' husband, and he's doing actually a retreat for men, and he was sharing during a conference his passion for creating a community for men, and to creating a space where they can be vulnerable, And of course, women, we have a lot to continue being empowered and being, stronger and feeling good about herself in community. But also men, they've been taught to be strong, not to cry, not to embrace, their
carry
vulnerability.
so much responsibility on their shoulders, and
exactly.
And a lot of times it stresses them out so harshly that they have to feel the support from others, because they don't have that in the society.
Exactly.
You always have to present yourself as a very strong and powerful man. It's really hard. It's so great that someone created such a thing. How was it? I think you took a course with Tony Robbins. How was that?
That was very interesting. No, that was very interesting. It's a training course, but he has so much knowledge and inspiration. And of course, he's a guru. He's of course, in the world right now, he's a #1 coach. So for me, it was really interesting to observe his methodology, of how he's coaching himself, people. So for me to have the knowledge and the understanding of what is a method. But I think also deep down, because coaching, it's a big word, and it can be a little bit like in French we say galvaudé, like it means everything and nothing today. So that's why I feel, it's mostly about when you're looking into a therapist, you're gonna look into your past and you're gonna look into healing your past. A coach is just someone which is going to help you, like do a little assessment and help you looking for the future, looking for a solution, looking how you can, take little step and holding your hand. And sometimes it's so hard when you are by yourself,
Absolutely. Not everybody can handle it.
Exactly.
Yes,
so it's mostly, I will say, if you have to pick a coach, you pick the personality, somebody you believe in, somebody that shares the same value as you,
The one that's very connected to you. You feel that a personal connection. That is very important in anything. When I took classes with Julie, our mutual friend, and I loved our connection, and I fell in love with Perel because of her. And yes, and absolutely, it's very important to find your person. And when you find your person, things are just going to be so much easier. Do you think there is a difference between the French and American approach to relationships?
Ooh, touchy question.
Oh, why not?
Yes. Well, let's start with the French.
Let's go there.
Here we go. Let's travel a little bit to French. I know a little bit about it.
I love everything French. I love French people. I love French language. J'adore.
J'adore. Yes, I think we have, honestly, I love to live, in Paris. I grew up there. But I'm also really happy to live here, where I am today, But of course, I embrace, the culture, the French culture. In terms of the French vision on relationship, I don't know if it's my personal experience, nothing general here, but this is my personal. I think people will connect in France through like the hard moment. So that's why, we have that culture of complaining, oh no, it's not good. But you know what? It's actually like French gonna be very quickly
resolving it
and vulnerable.
Okay, they can
it's
be
like
open.
It's like you're gonna open very quickly, so that creates this type of genuine connection, because you really connect on a level where, I just show myself.
I'm an open book.
I'm gonna share with you, the positive side of my life, but also
the negative,
the negative, and it's not perceived negatively, versus here, what I feel is, it takes more time for people to really open up and to be vulnerable as themselves, like it's a protection.
Yes.
So
it comes from a self-defense mechanism, I think, and not everybody feels comfortable to open up. But I think opening up and speaking out, a lot of times it could be, past to your recovery from some trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I think vulnerability, definitely, and then after in relationship, it's different. But I have to say, personally, I find American men very gentlemen, and very attentive and very kind. And there is really a notion of family, I feel, maybe a little bit more than in France, that it can get lost a little bit, where I feel here, there is really a sense of, family, union, marriage, so which I find beautiful.
I have my own opinion that I think that American men treat women very, very nicely here. And as opposed to my country where I come from, I think it's very male-driven, and women have less voices to speak out, and American man treats a woman like a queen, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So when you know how to connect those two together, you could create a beautiful relationship. Our crepes we're gonna start making now, and I actually have a real crepe pan. Ooh. And that little, it's not a hammer, it's a spreader. I've never used it, so you're gonna coach me on that as well.
Oh la la.
Oh la la.
Let's see how I do
So we
that.
will heat up this pan pretty hot. That's very important. And I'm gonna use a paper towel to spread on it some type of oil. We have avocado oil and butter, so just do both, right?
Yes, perfect. A little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. We don't want to make it too greasy, but we want to make sure it's not going to be stuck, so that will prevent from sticking. and it has to be really, really hot. Okay, I'm excited about our first crepe.
So,
You never know what's gonna happen.
no, you never. And usually, let's see how the first go.
All right.
Yeah.
Usually they say the first one will
Yes.
be the bad one, and then because the pan actually has to get used to it. And when I was growing up, my grandma always had a special pan only for the crepes. No, we could not use anything else on it. She always said, if you use something else, you're gonna ruin my pan. So that is only, you know, it's like
Sacred.
It's like feels that the language of the crepe. It's nothing else can be done on it. Do you think there is a particular nationality that are better lovers?
Oh my God, what a question. I don't know. I don't know if it's linked to the
Nationality
to
or
the
culture or
nationality. No, and I feel like more and more it's also like the spiritual dimension of it, you know, as lovers, you know, coming together.
but I feel like
Yeah.
some cultures could be extremely conservative, and I feel like they prevent people from being themselves.
Yes.
I feel like there are some places that I've traveled in the world that people are extremely conservative for everything, and it's just some of that type of modesty. It's almost really bad for you because, you know, realizing and opening up yourself, you have to be more free.
Exactly.
But a lot of times those cultures suppress you.
No, you're right. You're right. And I think, like, of course, living in a free country, you know, help you, of course, being yourself and embracing, you know, the life. But I mean, I will say Spain, as my husband is coming from Spain. So
yes. The hot culture, right?
Exactly.
They are, you know, always happy. It's some of the cultures create that happiness around them. You know, it doesn't matter even if life is really hard. They dance. They just create that happiness around them, and I think that is so important. You know, it's one of the things you are in control of.
No, totally. And I think, like in France, there is a word that we use is Epicurean. So being Epicurean, and so living life, you know, and enjoying all the pleasure of life, you know. So I think in Europe we are pretty good at that. Italian too, they are really good at, you know, enjoying life and taking our time to be together. So that's
Dolce
why
far niente, yeah.
la far niente, la dolce vita. And so in France it's the same, you know. We love to take our time. So for instance, on Sunday when we gather with the family, like we're gonna be like at the dining table during like 4 hours, you know, starting from the champagnes and appetizers and main course and cheese course,
Yes.
then desserts and coffees and chocolate, you know, it's like
You know how to
the full
enjoy it
experience.
to the fullest, and that's important because a lot of people get caught up in life and so many responsibilities and work, and they just don't even know how to relax. How do you relax normally?
Several ways. I will say by myself. Well, I know it's gonna sound a little bit maybe cliche, but I love to do. For instance, this morning I've done my little meditation just to recenter.
Well, I don't think it's cliche. I think a lot of people have, you know, still trying to learn meditation and get into it. It's not easy.
Exactly. And we were talking about it with Julie because it's also, you know, how you start your day. And it's just like I'm not in silence, you know, I just give intention and affirmation on how I want to spend my day, kind of visualizing it, you know, and what is my intention, you know, and if it's coming from my heart and being genuine. And I know, you know, with work, everybody's work is different, but I think when we have the mindset of serving others and sharing, you know, it's really different from, you know, serving yourself.
Being very selfish.
Exactly.
Yes, caring about others, giving, it's always a right way to start your day and your life, to actually do something for others.
Exactly. And that's actually going to nurture your self-love.
Absolutely.
You know, because as I said, you know, we are all mirror of each other. So the more you're going to serve others, you know, in a genuine way, not to receive back.
Yes, you're not expecting anything back, you just give. This is me. I'm a big giver. I always give, and I just enjoy it. I don't expect anything, and I don't want anything. I just want to make others happy, and I do through my food.
Of course.
I want to show you, this is the batter. You think it's a little thick or it's fine? Because when it sits, it changes the texture. I think we need to try one and see,
Add it.
right?
Perfect.
Here.
Oh,
I'm gonna start. So we're gonna try together. Oh.
I think you have to put a little bit more.
A little bit more. Okay, we have to be fast. All right,
Okay.
let's see if we could
And
do
then
this.
a
Nice.
turn.
Yeah.
Here we go. And on, you can.
It's going fast.
Oh la 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 la! It's hot, hot, hot.
Hot, hot. Yeah. This is fun.
Here we go.
Yeah. Let me try. Yeah. And you have to kind of stop. This one I think is a little thick, right?
Yeah, I think
I'm
we
gonna
can
add a
some milk.
little bit of milk. That's the thing. When it sits there, it starts becoming a little thicker. So make sure you're gonna feel it. You know, you're gonna try a couple of times and you will feel it definitely. And it cooks pretty quickly. I have this big spatula. We're just gonna try to flip. It's not ready. Oh my God, it's really
It's
thick.
now good.
It's actually really thick. Adding some more milk. So do you think in this time and age, marriages are declining?
You know what? I read a study the other day, like in France, actually the statistic for marriage and wedding are actually going up with the new generation.
That's
Yes.
good news.
But linked to what I say, I think like there is a sense of, with all the digital disconnection that
Exactly.
we live on a daily basis, people feel more and more lonely. So actually, marriage is kind of a reassuring, institution where two people have the safety of relationship through a wedding. Of course, and after you have to do constant effort to make it work, but I mean, actually, I feel from the next generation coming.
This one is going to garbage.
Bye bye. That was fast. She's like,
I'm not doing this.
Doesn't work.
This is the thing with crepes. You're just gonna figure out the pace, figure out the dough, and then you're gonna get it, and that's fine. That's what happens here.
Right.
We have this one is gonna be a better. I don't know if it's gonna be perfect, but we'll try our best here. Yeah, it's gonna be better. It was too thick. We have to practice our French technique here with this tool. This is a very difficult tool. Looks like we have to go the regular way.
I think that was a professional way.
This seems like this is supposed to help you, but in our case, it's kind of a distraction.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
This goes out too.
Allez, bye bye.
What is the biggest misconception that people have about wellness or healing work?
That's a great question. I think when you haven't started, and you have no idea what it requires, people, can perceive that as, something very disconnected, not pragmatic at all, or just being into meditation. So I think when you are you really haven't started any step throughout that journey. But for me, I feel that it has been such a gift to first invest myself for all the years that I have to live on this earth to understand myself, And I think it's actually when you find the right person that first help you heal, because we are all coming from different backgrounds. Even if our parents did the best, we all need to heal something, and that's okay. So that's the first thing is just, you don't need to be like crazy to go through therapy. You don't need to, be very down to go see a coach. Everybody needs, at certain points, but you need to feel it,
Absolutely.
You cannot push somebody to go see, a therapist or a coach. It has to come genuinely from the inside and feel like, okay, I'm in a corner right now. I
feel like I need help, right?
I need help, and it has to be like coming from, of course, a lot of humility and being okay, accepting the help from others. I think this is the really first step.
I've never done any type of therapy or coach with help from coach. I've never done that, and it's interesting. I always kind of try to, ask those questions myself and discover them, and I always felt like I could do it, but it's not for everyone. Yeah. And maybe sometimes I really needed it, but I ignored it.
No, but that's fine. And that's your journey. If you were connecting to yourself, Do you feel you are an intuitive person?
I feel like I am, yes, definitely. This is good. It's just, it's not perfect. As you see, the shape is pretty bad, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna still use it because the thinness is pretty good. So can we make this one savory? So we're gonna add the cheese.
Okay.
So we have the Gruyère cheese. So when you cook the both sides, you just add some cheese all over, let it melt. And it's, you know, I didn't cook it completely to that, you know, golden color. So because I want to give that extra time for the cheese to melt. This is good.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have the ham. Does that go right on top?
You can put it right on top.
Okay.
So this crepe is actually called the Parisian crepe.
Parisian?
Yeah. The Parisian crepe.
Parisian crepe.
Yeah, it's just ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious. So, and then we could just flip the half of that crepe, right?
Perfect. Yes.
We do that, and you see now, it actually created that beautiful golden color, and we're just gonna finish melting this cheese. My hands are like, you know, I could touch anything really hot, so I don't need. I don't need to flip anything. I don't need this.
You have iron fingers.
Iron fingers, yeah. So this one is done, and I'm just gonna put it right here. I see that the cheese is really melted and the ham is warm, and while we will cut this and make a beautiful shape for it, and I'm gonna cook one more.
The second one?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Make a perfect one. You see, I sucked.
No. I mean,
I need my grandma's pan.
My style. Here we go.
Yay,
so you have to turn a little bit.
Yeah.
Up.
Yep.
Et voila.
I was trying to use that thing, but
I know
it was a distraction.
That's okay. We tried, you know.
We tried, absolutely. And now it's very important that the pan is super hot. When it's not hot enough, then it starts cooking slowly, and it's not the right thing. So what's one thing that someone can do today to start improving their relationship?
So when you are in a relationship, I'm still learning myself, you know.
Yes.
But of course, communication is key, and being able to just, you know, having an open communication without, you know, attacking the others, because I feel like it can be very, you know, very easy. Oh, you did that and you did that, and just coming from your place. And sometimes behind every complaint, there is a need.
Yes.
So when you're complaining about how, you know, you don't spend time with me, or you were out, or da. Ooh.
Beautiful.
Nice.
You see, the real French touch. The French crepes need the real French touch. So I'm glad we fixed this problem. I'm gonna cut some strawberries for our sweet one.
Yes.
And I actually made some freshly whipped cream this morning, and it's in the fridge. I'll get it out. And I do have this delicious chocolate spread, but I also have something really special I wanted to taste. This is kind of like a chocolate, but it's not really chocolate. It's called tea, and I got this in Japan at a restaurant Hajime, and the chef gave every customer a gift. And this is the most delicious thing I've ever had. It's so incredible. It tastes like tea, like the Earl Grey tea. So I wanted to taste it with a crepe. I think it's gonna give a very delicious, beautiful. Look how nice. So let me show you guys. Finally.
Voila.
She made the perfect French crepe. I love it. Perfecto, perfect. Yes, so I'm going to turn this off. And I want you to taste this delicious tea spread that it's so unique and different. I think you're going to love. Sorry guys, you can't really buy this. It's, you know, you got to go back to Japan and ask chef to get you some of this. I use it like something sacred because I'm afraid that it's going to finish. So we're going to put some strawberries. And, you know, you could use, of course, any kind of berries we have. I love raspberries too. Put some raspberries as well. And let me get that cream. Cream we could put on top after we... do you want to show how to roll it the other way? Because you could also roll it,
yes.
yeah? Go for it.
Yes. Okay, so there was the first technique where you
Yes.
just close it, and after you can just nicely create a little roll. Here we
This
go.
was the front though. I messed up here. This was the front part of the
The front part.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
You will see the difference. The first side is usually the front side. So, and this you could do like that. And here's our beautiful whipped cream. We could decorate it nicely with whipped cream. It's actually really fresh and delicious. And we're gonna put some strawberries more on top. I mean, if you wanna make those beautiful chocolate lines, you're gonna have to warm up the chocolate. Well, we're not gonna do that right now, but we're just gonna add some more strawberries. I just love this so much that I didn't want to cut.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I think it's so cute. So
Very
maybe
juicy.
we leave it like that for a
Look
beautiful
at that.
presentation. Okay, it's so pretty, right? And then we could chop strawberries smaller and put on top for beauty.
Oh, I love how you do that.
So pretty.
So negligé, you know, but it falls perfectly.
Yep. Negligé. I love that.
Negligé, you know, like oh, I throw it, but it looks perfect.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's a perfect mess.
Voilà.
A beautiful mess. And you also put a little Grand Marnier on top.
Alors, we
Oh,
can
they're supposed to put it
flambe.
inside.
You can flambe it, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
When you do the crepe, you pour a little bit of Grand Marnier and then you use a lighter and
Well, I wasn't
create a big
prepared.
flame.
I don't have the lighter. Damn it. But anyway, we
Wow.
guys made this beautiful crepes. I think it looks amazing. Are we gonna
So
taste
nice.
this? Let's
please.
taste this.
Please,
Here we
please,
go.
please. Here
We
we go.
share together.
Thank
I want
you.
you to try that, maybe
one.
the sweet one, and tell me how you like.
Allez.
Allez, allez.
I'm gonna start here.
And if you had the choice between savory and sweet, which one would you prefer normally? The
Me sweet.
Of course.
Oh,
and
I'm
I am
so a sweet
opposite. I
person.
will go for the other one.
For the other one?
Yes, I'm
Really?
gonna go for the other one. Yeah, I'm not a sweet tooth. And if you hosted a special dinner party, who would you invite and what would you cook?
Good question. Attends, let me think
Well,
about
first-
it while
you
savor
try it. Yes, I'm
this
gonna
one.
try this one just like this. Very delicious.
Oh wow.
Nice. You made it.
Oh wow.
You made it.
Oh, but the
And
cheese
this
spread.
is so crazy, right? So delicious. I
It's
wish
very
you guys
subtle.
could say. It's very
Yeah.
unique. It's a flavor of Earl Grey. I don't know what's in it, but it's insane.
Actually, I would love to meet one day Esther Perel. I don't know if you
No,
know.
I don't.
So she's a psychiatrist. She's from Belgium, and
Okay.
she's, for me, the queen of relationship and love. And I think she's so interesting. Her vision is so inspiring about the relationship and also the erotism of relationship, and how one key learning from her is, you know, how it's important to let space in a couple, to be able to, you know, to be yourself, to, you know, to fulfill, you know, yourself. But I think I will invite her, and what I will make, actually, one of my mom's recipes that I love, which when I'm gonna say it, it's not gonna sound super fancy, but it's actually very, very good. It's poulet au vinaigre. So it's like chicken with a creamy sauce with vinegar and mustard and all melted. And usually you serve it, it's very simple, but the taste of the sauce, Edvina.
Oh, I can't wait to try that.
Oh,
I'm
la
gonna
la.
have to invite myself to your house.
Oh, please, please,
for
please
lunch
come.
or for dinner.
I'm always
or we
trying
could
to
just cook
find-
it together here.
Oh,
One
perfect.
more
I would
time.
love to come by. But yeah, it's a simple recipe, but so rich, simple, and every time it amazes everybody.
Because it's very unique. I used to make this recipe that someone reminded me of back in the day. Lots of onions, and also it's chicken with balsamic vinegar. It sounds so weird, but it's so delicious. Like, how is the vinegar is the sauce? That's the thing that is very weird.
Yeah.
But believe me, it's unreal. And while you're explaining this dish to me, I already understand why is it so good, although I haven't tried that particular one. I think going back to the relationship, I think you are absolutely right to give space in the relationship, because for me, what I always say, love is freedom. When you love someone, you let this person be free, be themselves. Do not try to control and create, put this person into your own frames, into your own prison that you created in your head. Let the person be themselves, and that's the only way the relationship would thrive and be beautiful.
Exactly.
Cheers to that. Cheers to love. And thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much, Anne-Sophie, for being here. You're a very special, beautiful woman that makes this world better. And I'm really, really happy that we were able to do this. And please subscribe and watch my show every Thursday, and find Anne-Marie in my comments there. There's a link for her. And I'm really, really happy for this today together.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Edvina.
Merci
Thank
beaucoup.
you.
Cheers.
Merci beaucoup.
See
Cheers,
you all
everyone.
later.
And do crepes at home.